Okay? So say, Ovi, Banana Man, what's happening, buddy? Okay? So Ovi, listen. So we've got it set. So we've got Wednesday at 7. So there's a couple things I want to try to get from you tonight. So a couple things I want to get from you tonight. Okay? Just so that I can take them with me potentially and do a little bit of research so that when we come back, I've got some ideas for you, okay? So the first, Ovi, is any statements for like old retirement accounts, IRAs, 401ks, anything like that. So Ovi, you have anything out there like that? Previous retirement accounts from jobs, anything like that?
The bank, yeah.
Okay, awesome, great. So I'm gonna pick up a statement from that, just do a little research so when I come back, we're prepared on that. The second thing I want to take a look at tonight is what you have for your life insurance. So you do have life insurance, right?
Yes.
Great. Do you know who you have it through?
Work.
Oh, it's just through work.
Yes.
Okay, but no personal life insurance.
No.
Okay, great. So Ovi, real quick, do you mind if I just take like 2 or 3 minutes and give you a quick education on how your group insurance works? Okay, great. So that was my intro to the group insurance presentation, right? So you do have life insurance, right? Again, at this point, it's going one of 5 ways, right? No, and I'm in market, I'm married with kids. No, no kids. I have it through work. I have cash value. I have term. Through somebody. It's going to be one of those 5 things. There is a video on Primerica Online that shows you in specific detail exactly what you say on each one of these tracks to get that app done.
Question. So you asked for the retirement account statements.
Yep.
Do you have them go get them?
Not right away.
And ask for the life? Or
No.
You do close all the life and then
I close the life, and then, by the way, so Mike, I did want to get those statements from you. You have those statements somewhere?
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're online. Great. Let's go get them real quick. Maybe you can screenshot them or email them to me.
Okay. And then the other thing is, so if they have like their life insurance policy, they're going to get it. You just say, hey, grab the statements while you grab
No.
the life insurance policy.
I don't want them distracted. I want them to, yeah. So I'll get it all set up and then, oh, Mike, by the way, I need to get those IRA statements. Make sense? So you do have life insurance, right? At that point, we're gonna go into one of the 5 presentations, the A diagram, close the life, right? So life's closed. So we're gonna skip over that because that's an hour and 15 minutes without role play to go through all 5 of them, right? Now each one maybe takes 5 minutes or 10 minutes, right? Okay, but we don't have the time to go through that this morning. So now we've closed the life app, so we're gonna reaffirm F&A time. And then real quick, Dad, before we go, like I said at the beginning, we have 2 jobs, right? Our first job is educating people. I'm really excited to go through that with you. The second job, that is, we're recruiting agents part-time that can share this information with people they know, make a great part-time or even potential full-time income. So, Deb, I'd be remiss to not at least ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I hate helping people, I also hate making money. This definitely wouldn't be for me. 10 being, if I could make a few grand a month on the side, I'd be very interested. Just based on what you've seen so far, Deb, where do you put yourself on that scale? Okay, so second job, recruiting, scale of 1 to 10.
That's after you close life.
It's after you close life. This is the last thing you're doing before you leave, right? Because the chances of them saying 9 or 10 are about 30%. The rest of them are going to be somewhere down below, right? So I'm going to have that conversation next time. But I'm just foreshadowing it. I'm putting it in their mind, right? If they're 9, 10, well, Kayla, what do you like most about what you saw? What's most interesting to you? I'm going to get her to talk because I might be able to take the IBA right there, right? But I at least want her thinking about it because she will. She'll go to bed that night thinking about That's pretty interesting. A couple $1,000 bucks. I mean, I want her selling herself and him on it the whole time between now and when I come back.
Do you invite them to op night between then?
Generally not.
Okay.
Now there are a lot of people that do. There's two issues I see with inviting clients to op night. Number one is the environment is well, it depends. Some people like that, but remember, these are clients, not necessarily people that are coming for a business opportunity.
Sure.
Right? Okay. So there are some people that make all their clients come to op night, but their op night is not like our op night. Our op night's like elevator music and people in suits with ushering them in and out, right? So it's just a different model.
Sure.
Our model works pretty good, wouldn't you agree? Okay, so we're not going to change that model for a who knows what sort of outcome, right? That's just not our model. We're not Raymond James or Edward Jones. We are Primerica.
But if you have like an in-market person who is a 9 or 10, who you close on, who you're pretty sure you're going to recruit, it's maybe not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea, sure.
Okay.
Not a bad idea, right? But I prefer, so my preference is op night as a second look after the IBA.
Okay.
That's just my preference.
Cool.
Because what happens is you're going to shoot them with a fire hose here,
Yep.
right? So, which is fine if they're able to take that in. But what I like doing is I like leading people along.
Yep, for sure.
Let me give you an opportunity. Let me give you some information. Let me get you to excite yourself about it.
Yep.
And then you'll come to me with wanting more. Like, Andrew, you came to the meeting last night, and then you texted me last night and you said, hey, it was awesome. I had a great time. I'm going to come tomorrow. I didn't ask you to come today, right? But you wanted to come today. So the right people, you put them in the process, and the right people are like, wow, I want to learn more. I want to get more, right? So that's just my model is I'm not going to browbeat you, right? I want to provide opportunities for you to grow and learn. Like, how many of you did I tell you need to come here today? Nobody. But you came here today. Why? I provided the opportunity for you to grow and learn. The people that want to grow and learn will come, right? Does that make sense? So that's my philosophy. Doesn't mean that it's the right philosophy. That's just mine. You may have something different. If that works for you, wonderful, right? Some things are not set in stone, right? There's multiple ways to skin the cat. Okay, so let me go back through this, and then we're going to role play it. Okay, so Sherry, so we've got Friday night at 8:30 for the F&A, okay? So there's just a couple things I want to try to get from you tonight before I leave you and Dave, okay? So the first thing that I want to pick up from you is just like any sort of statements you have for like 401ks, IRAs, retirement accounts, anything like that. Do you guys have anything out there like that? Okay, previous employer or current employer? Okay, great. So I'm going to pick up those statements from you. I'm going to take them and do a little bit of research. So when I come back, I've got some info for you, okay? The second thing that I want to look at tonight really briefly with you guys is what you have for your life insurance. I'm sure you have some sort of life insurance, right?
Through Dave's work.
Okay, just through his work, but no private life insurance. Really? Okay, do you mind if I give you guys just a couple of minute explanation on how that works? Okay, great. Perfect.
Now,
So,
let me ask a question.
Sure.
Would you explain just that, or would you explain all of them? And
I didn't-
diagram everything in front
no,
of them?
so I'm going to explain just that
This is what they get.
because if I can get, so on group insurance, the reason you guys don't close group is you didn't get them to commit to the fact that what they have is not good. They still, even after you tell them, they still think it's okay, right? Which doesn't make any sense. They're not listening to you, right? You buy life insurance so that if you die, your family's okay. Not that if you die, but this way, or this way with these listed conditions, your family's okay, right? So I'm going to close them on its bad. As soon as I close them on its bad, I could sell them anything. I'm just with a great company that does the right thing and does not take advantage of them, right? But they don't need to know everything in the world. They need to know what they have is not good. Let me give you a better solution. Yeah, don't sell past the close.
Kind of a little different, but when you're going and you're trying to get them to say, well, how much coverage do you think you need in the budget? And they're like, well, it kind of depends. what it costs. I kind of want to see some different numbers.
Absolutely. So we'll go through.
They're not tying you down. You're not getting a tie down to this.
We'll go through all of that. Okay. But so what I really want to know is like where you feel like you'd want to be. So what is a number, Mike, that you're like, yeah, if we had this, I think we'd be good.
I'm not. Well, what would you recommend?
Okay. So you're going to get some of that sometimes. Say, well, I'll tell you what I recommend, but let me tell you what experts recommend first, okay? And that's that you have somewhere between 8 and 12 times your income, right? Because you're a husband, you're a father, you're also a money machine to your family. You're creating money. So if that money machine breaks, your family's out of money, right? So your kids are 5 and 6, right? Okay. So you're going to be financially responsible to them till they're at least 22. So they're 5 now, so 22 years old is when you're going to probably be providing for them. You're already 5-year students, that's 17 years. So if you're making $100K a year, Mike, for 17 years, you're going to make how much money?
1.7.
Right. That's your economic value with no raises. That's what your whole life's going to be based upon financially, right? So we need to make sure we get at least half of that now so that they could use it some interest, some principles. Does that make sense?
That's understandable.
Okay, good. So I'm going to educate them if they're asking to be educated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're making this huge suggestion, but they can't afford near that huge suggestion.
So the second question is, Mike, what do you feel like you could put towards this? Now, my goal, Mike, when I come back to do the F&A, is that it will cost you $0. That I can find savings in other places to reallocate. That's my goal. But Mike, pretend for a second I wasn't coming back to do that. That doesn't change the fact that we need to do this, right? Okay, so what do you feel like you could invest comfortably on a monthly basis into making sure your family's protected? Most of our clients, Mike, will say, and then based on what they told me, I'm gonna find a range, right? They told me they need 1.5 million, they're 45 years old. So most of our clients are gonna say probably somewhere between 100 and 200 bucks a month. Some people say more than that, some people say as little as 70 or 80. Where do you feel like you could comfortably be? And if they're like, nowhere, now I'm gonna have another educational talk with them about, all right, Mike, do you have any bills you pay right now that will pay your family if you die? None, right? Zero of the bills you pay, right? So if you had a choice of pay a bill and get a whole bunch of money back or pay a bill and get no money back, which bill would you choose? Okay, great. So that's what I'm going to help you choose here, right? So this is not a bill. This is a different bill than any other bill you have. Do you understand that? Okay, right? So you're probably way out of market if you find somebody who says they have no money. I have not heard that in years, right? They'll always give you a number. If they don't, you're way the heck out of market. But I've been there, and I've straight up told people, don't pay that credit card. Take the payment you're paying to that credit card and pay it on life insurance. Why? What's the worst thing that happens? Your credit card gets mad, you can't use it anymore, you don't have any money. What are they gonna take? You have nothing. So let's pay your family, right? Because what's the worst thing that happens there? Now your family's screwed forever. So if we have to screw somebody, Deb, would we rather screw the credit card company or your family? Okay, so let's get out the screwdriver. Right. And that is wonderful advice, by the way, for broke people. It's called pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. That credit card company ain't gonna do a dang thing for that family if that breadwinner dies. They're gonna do nothing. They're pillaging them. So if it's push to shove, then I'm gonna help you, right? Because that's how poor folk get poor, is they pay everybody else first and they leave their family out to dry.
But be prepared for a chargeback either way on those people, seriously.
Nope. I do a good job with them, Sherry. I do a good job. I'm not weaseling something out of them. I'm making sure you understand this and you're okay with that process.
I sit with people and they seem to understand it, but then you walk out the door 2 months later, they're canceling. It's like, what are you doing?
Okay.
You understood it 2 months ago, but you don't understand it now. Well, something came up, an emergency. Well, you need even more. You need an emergency fund.
Sure. So it's not sold yet. You see it as sold, they're sold enough to start the process, I'm gonna sell it. Sherry, if something comes up in 2 months, you understand that this is the only bill paying you back, right? So you're gonna try to pay something else. I don't care who you have to rob to pay that, you never touch this. You understand that?
You're the way that you're doing it, you're in control. You're leading them into their.
I understand what you're saying, and if you don't do a good job at what I'm telling you, you're exactly right.
Right.
So 2 things, get out of that market fast. You're in that market for a reason, right? Okay. Number 2 is just do a better job of selling it, right? Like I'm gonna straight up tell you, don't, right? If this happens, it doesn't mean sometimes people still do stupid things. I had one over the summer. It was like, what happened to this, right? And it's like, oh, this is something. I'm like, what, right? So that does happen sometimes, but y'all can't be afraid to swing the bat, right? Okay. So if you're afraid of chargebacks, the best way to not get them is never write another sale again. Right? It's the best way to not get a chargeback, right? Okay. So the problem with that is
FNA will help people like that,
right.
because you will find money.
Yeah, you will find money.
And then it's just about educating them about
Correct.
how to properly allocate and spend.
And if they're broke, like, look, dude, if I'm sitting in a broke person's house, I'm not going to be sugarcoating things the way I'm telling you.
For
Like,
sure.
you're broke for a reason, dude. Okay,
Right.
so listen, I'm gonna help you, but this is what you're doing.
Yep.
And another thing I notice is sometimes people are like, oh, well, you know, what if something happens and I don't see this? I'm like, listen, if it ever comes like that, you need to call me immediately.
Yep.
We have to get back together. We need to look at it, evaluate it, because this is the most
Yep.
important thing. to keep
But you're in a bad market if you're dealing with people who don't think they can pay for it. End of story. End of story. So just get out of that market, right? So you got to move it up a little bit, right? So let's go through again. So we were at, you do have life insurance, right? And then this degraded into a conversation of what happens after that point. So we do the life app, right? So we reaffirm the F&A time. So Sherry, I got you for Friday at 8:30. Okay. So the last thing I want to just talk to you about super quickly, like I said at the beginning, we have 2 jobs. One job was helping to educate families, right? Okay. The second job is we recruit agents on a part-time basis to share this with people they know, to maybe make, an extra couple $1,000s a month on the side. So Sherry, I'd be remiss to not at least ask you this, okay? But on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I hate helping people, I hate making money. This would not be for me. 10 being, if I could make a few thousand a month on the side, I'd be very interested. Based on what you've seen so far, where do you put yourself initially on that scale? Wonderful. Okay. So Sherry, what do you like most about what you've seen? What's most interesting to you? And then you just run them through. And if they're ready, take the IBA. Don't come back. Take the IBA. Right? Okay. And if they're like 6, say, well, listen, when we get back together, I'd love to answer some more questions you might have. So I want you to think of some, write them down, because I'd love to share a little bit more about that. You may potentially be somebody who does well at this. Okay, so pair up with somebody new 3 times back and forth.
Well,